Hello and good morning here from Vietnam. I found a little piece of heaven uh, while listening to the birds. I'll let you hear. I don't know if the sound is good enough for you to get it, but for me, I feel whole, I feel complete, and I want to share something that is been triggering me for some time. As you know, I have coached and I coach a lot about purpose. And while doing it, I did discover some very important elements for us to know about in order to better grasp who can live uh, with purpose, reason for being. It's not for everyone at every moment. So I think it's important that I spend a bit of time together with you today to explain more about a theory that most of you have known. It's a psychological theory. It's the theory of motivation by Abraham Maslow. And, it's a theory of hierarchical needs that we humans have and we need to fulfill in order to feel complete. So obviously, purpose stands on the higher ground of the pyramid at the peak, what he called the self-actualization stage. But the self-actualization stage is not for everyone. Because before you can get to that level, you do have to feed very well the other basic hierarchy of needs. And it starts right in the bottom with the physiological needs, which are extremely simple, and but we as humans do need to get food, do need to get shelter, do need to get water, do need to get clothing, we do need to get rest and sleep. And the most essential of all is we need to get breathing. So these are very, very basic elements in the pyramid of motivation that Maslow defined. And I found that until we have been able to, properly address all the dimensions addressed in this first ground level, then there is no need to try to build a skyscraper above it. A skyscraper can only be built and be sustained provided that it's got solid foundation. So this level one of the pyramids of needs really is about making sure you do things right so that you can build upon it and grow to flourish and have the best life that everyone wants to have. But if you do not take care of these very essential basic needs, then there is no way for humans to grow into their full potential. So the first one is about breathing. And breathing is essential to control our emotions, to control our feelings, to be fully aware of where we are. To be, mindful, you have to be aware of your breathing. And sadly so, we are not taught from a very early age how to tap into the potential of breathing. But breathing is really what makes all the difference. And if I can use an analogy, is can use with the engine of a car or else. Most of them have carburetors, and carburetors need to get some fuel. So the fuel could be the food. But for the burst of the fire to work, it needs to have oxygen. It needs to have air coming in. So if you don't have enough air, then basically the food cannot fire and burn as needed. So breathing is just that. It is within our body. If we cannot get sufficient amount of oxygen and air, then the body cannot function properly. And interestingly so, we know, and that's been scientifically demonstrated, that most of the disease and most of the cancer worldwide are simply related to a lack of oxygen in the cell. And when you get below a level of 60%, what happens is your cell can no more fight the disease, meaning the immune system is, weakened. So oxygen is really the base of everything. And think about it. Why is it so important? So my first question is, what is the first thing that you've done when you were born? What is it? Breathing was the first thing you did. And you know what? What is the last things that you will do the day you pass, the day you go to another dimension, the day you die, basically? What you're going to do is you are going to take your last breath. So the first thing you do in life is breathing, and the last thing you do is breathing. But what's more interesting is that the things that you're going to do the most during your whole single life, every single day, every single hour, every single minute, every single second, is to breathe. So I hope that you understand that if you want to grow, if you want to reach your true potential, then you have to learn how to breathe properly. And in the yoga philosophy and teaching, prana, which is breathing, is really an essential part of the whole exercise. And me, who used to be a professional athlete, I can tell you that without proper breathing, you can't really perform well. And you know that when you are stressed, your breathing is actually very fast. And when you are really relaxed, your breathing is much, much slower. And actually, the time where you had the less worry is when you sleep. And guess what? Your breathing is extremely, extremely low and deep when you sleep. So breathing controls all the emotion, the anxiety, the stress, the worries, the concern, any tension in your body is reflected into your breathing. So try to take this into account and begin to learn how to breathe, because if you don't do that, you won't be able to get any further. So then something else we take for granted is the food. We have been fed since a very, very early age, and we've never really questioned so much, at least most of us, what was the effect of the food that we put in. But when you look at our body, what is our body? The body is just the sum of everything that you have given it. So all the food that you have eaten through your life has made you who you are today. So, if you have eaten too many burgers and fries and, fast food and so on, most likely your shape will be resembling the one of a balloon, and your level of fat will be very high, and your immune system will be very low, because the food that you have eaten most of your life is actually of very, very poor quality, and that will make you fragile, and that will make you weak, and you'll get sick. So it's actually the same principle than a car. We talked about an engine earlier, but imagine that you put bad gasoline within the car. What's going to happen is the car is never going to be able to perform as well as it should. So making sure that you are putting into your body the right food is really a very basic, essential need that we all need to be aware furthermore. But not only do we need to know the value of the nutriments that we put in, and understand that there needs to be a balance and true awareness about what we put in and the quality of it. Furthermore, something I have not been able yet to master, but I will down the road, is learn to grow your own food, because how can you really know what you're putting in unless you grow it yourself? So we still have to trust, those organic seller and so on. But are they really doing what should be done? I don't know. But if you are yourself planting the seed and watering them every day, and seeing them grow and blossom, then you know that the love and the care that you have put in is basically what you are going to put into your body. And the more care, the more love, the more healthier the food would be, and the more nutrition to help you become strong and to help you become the best of who you can be in a variety of level. But actually, in terms of body, that's what we need. And our society has completely forgotten about this very, very important but very essential is, know what type of food you are putting in. Very basic. The next stage is about water. And I've spoken about this before. I'm a firm believer in structured water, and we don't have time to talk about it today. It's another subject. But we are, for the most part, drinking improper water and non-structured water. And it may have some, nice elements, sodiums and so on into it, but these are, physical elements. And what we need is the structure to be proper. And the tap water that we consume every day is totally unstructured water. So therefore, we are not capable of making the best use of the water intake that we have. And like food, we actually often drink too much because we are not capable of absorbing all the water that we should be absorbing. And this is because the water is not structured as it should in order to be absorbed completely and fully. So being aware of what type of water you are using for your cooking, you are using for drinking every single day is so important, because the body is mostly made of water. I believe for the younger one about 70%, and down to 55% for the elder one. And most cells and atoms are made of water. So water is essential for everything. It's the fluid that makes everything move, and the quality of the fluid that you put in will result in having a great flowing system that works extremely well, that can take upon the oxygen that you get through the breathing, that can take the nutritional elements that it can absorb from the food that you're putting into your mouth, and allow the whole system to work very, very well. So, this is the very ground base of the psychological that Maslow was talking about. And obviously, I'm not talking about shelter, but, most of us do have a roof, and we can be fortunate. Most of us have some clothes. Now, the last part that he addressed is the sleep and the rest. And I know many who, unfortunately so, do not have enough or proper sleep. And what quality of sleep do we get? I mean, that's also something which we are not taught, we are not educated about, is how can I sleep well? How can I sleep properly? And there's a lot to say about that, and there is a lot of techniques which are working extremely well and extremely effectively, including having dinner, if you do, at early time, usually 3-4 hours before you go to sleep, because if you are digesting while sleeping, most of your energy will be in the stomach instead of being at ease in whole body. Practicing breathing exercise, or distressing the tension within your body in order to get into a really, really calm and peaceful stage. And there are a variety of other exercise and routine that we should learn to apply through life in order to learn how to make the best of a night of sleep. So, I sleep 8 hours a day, but now some people say you don't need that much, and some people don't. I mean, there are people that compensate it with 2 hours of yoga or meditation, and therefore they can sleep a lot less, 3 4 hours, and all the admiration to them. Hopefully I can do that someday. But there are also people that sleep in cycle, and sleep 3 4 hours during the night, and have a good nap in after lunch, for example. And this is very common in Vietnam. Anyway, there are a variety of ways that we can sleep, but what's important is that you do get the most of your sleep, and that you are not in a light mood, and still concerned and worried, and not being able to really recover as you need, because that's what sleep is made about. We are run rats all day long doing many things, and then at some point, it's like a car. You got to stop the engine so that it doesn't overheat, and then you need to cool down, and really get into the stop. Now it's time for my subconscious to get things in order. It's also the time where he puts all those thoughts and ideas that we have been discussing or having through the day into some sort of order, cleans up what doesn't need to be there, keeps what needs to be there, and he's trying to make sense of all the messed up ideas that we have during the day. So having a good sleep will allow you to have a better intellect, and to be fresher, and to perform better. So that was a rapid introduction to the important step one, the foundation of the Maslow hierarchical theory of needs and motivation, is that in the beginning, we all humans need to have those basic physiological needs. I repeat, this is air, this is water, this is food, it's shelter, it is sleep, and it is yeah, closing. That's the last one. So these are very, very, very basics, and we need to make sure that we do learn how to optimize the use of each of those, so that we can have a very, very strong foundation and an awesome body mindset in order to build upon, because there are 4 different levels. But if you don't have this base, it will be very, very difficult for anyone to grow to his true potential. So the next one is something that we all are aware of, and that's called safety and security. So this is about having good health. It's about having a job, being employed, because you need an income. Possibly having some sort of property so that you feel more secure. Having a family so that you are building something not only for yourself but for others too. And having a social ability to basically connect and interact with your friends, colleagues, and the people around you. So these are the level 2 of the pyramid, which is also extremely, extremely important. But what we need to know is that if we manage to take care very well of the priorly mentioned point into the step 1 of the pyramid, which is the physiological needs, then moving into stage 2, safety and security, will be extremely easy, because the first one is about health. So if you are breathing properly, if you are drinking well, if you are eating well, and if you are sleeping well, then the consequences is that your health is going to be just awesome. You're going to kick some ass. I mean, you're going to be strong, healthy, and full of energy all day long, because you have taken care of what's most important. So the consequences is that you do have a good health. Now comes the job, comes the work, and we all need that in order to have an income and safety. We live in a world where money is essential in order to have shelter and be able to eat properly and drink proper water. Even that, I mean, actually we don't need to pay for proper water. We can build it ourselves. But anyway, an income is a very basic need that most of us need. So the way we get an income is via an employment. And I'm sometimes wondering if we should not learn to be good investors, where we can acquire the freedom of having sufficient income without having to work or choosing to work when we have to. Because in most cases, in terms of employment, we do the job that we are taught to do. We do the job that we were able to find, or we do the job that pays the most. But rarely so do we do the job that we should be doing, because that is what we were born to do. We have a talent into painting, into music, or into accounting maybe, and then you need to find a job where every day you get there and what you do all day is a true pleasure. Because if you have that capacity to enjoy what you do, then work becomes a pleasure, and it's no more a constraint, and therefore you will grow more content, happier, fulfilled, satisfied, because the job you do is something that is meaningful to you, and that is something rather rare, that you do not find so often. But I do hope you strive for it, and we can try to work together in order to see what can be done. Obviously, once you have the income, then we all have a dream of owning a piece of land or owning an apartment, owning something that belongs to us that we can call home, and something that that will provide the shelter and the security that we need, and hopefully, if everything goes well, we can share that with our children very far down the road. So that is also something very important in the safety of all human beings. If you do not have a roof or a piece of land that belongs to you, then obviously your life may be a little bit more challenging and a little bit more unstable and a little more riskier. So therefore, with too much risk and too much instability, it will be hard to build a great a person and being. So this is why this part of the safety security is actually very, very important. Now, the family. Family is, essential, and this I know very well because I'm blessed to have a gorgeous, loving wife and children, each, filled with lots of potential, and I have grown such a better person since we started our family about 15 years ago, and having someone to love every day, having someone to care for. I mean, living a life which is not centered around ourselves, because all the elements that we talked about before are really on ourselves, which is always the number one, because before you can take care of anyone else, you first have to take care of you. And once you take care very well of you, then you can start to share and you can start to give to others what you have found yourself, but not before. And many do tend to give and give and give and forget to take care of themselves. So they kind of, make themselves feel horrible by trying to give what they don't have. But family is really the pillar of who we become, the pillar of who we are. It is, the nurturing, the love, and an amazing feeling of, feeling complete. And most humans, I'm not saying everyone needs it, but most humans do need to have this very, very strong bond, and feeling of, being a part of something greater. I met many ladies who say, when I had my child, then, life took a whole different dimension because I was able to realize that there was something else than me and I was living for something else. And this is actually a very, very rewarding feeling because it is in the giving that the happiness grows. It's not in the taking. So if we are too centered on ourselves and we are not able to give to others, then we cannot really reach that level of contentment, of happiness that is making us great. Now, as sapiens, as humans, we are social beings, and We love to interact with each other. We love to meet other humans, and we love to share stories and laughter and having, I mean, honestly, think about it. Some of the best time that we all had was what? Around a beautiful table with beautiful people that we enjoy being with and having, blast of laughter after laughter, discussing a variety of points and basically being with other beings and sharing what we love most, which is, laughter, breathing, drinking a little bit too much sometimes, but that can be fun at times as well. And obviously, eating some great food, often prepared by the mother or the grandmother with a lot of love. So all this, go back into what we were discussing before, and we are feeding the basic needs of human beings, and all that together will bring, additional joy and contentment. And we humans, if we are not capable of building good relationships with the environment in which we live and the people with whom we are, then maybe we cannot, be as content and as satisfied as we should be. And this is well known for the people who suffer from depression, who have difficulty, relating to other, or even the people who are very introverted and do not have the opportunity, to connect as easily as we extroverted can. So that is something we need to. It doesn't have to be tons of people. Actually, very often it's just a very small net of important quality people. People who basically, nurture us, feed us, understand us, and people who forgive us. I mean, people who really care for who we are, and people who are not judging us for what we do or don't do, but just accept us for who we are, and, in fact, are pushing us to become better beings. So, these are important dimension in the second level, which is safety and security that Maslow has clarified, and we need to know that this is extremely important. So we start with the physiological needs that needs to be taken care of, and then we move into the safety and security needs, which needs to be fulfilled. And once we have all of that, this base, and this is very strong, then we can grow in the third most beautiful stage, which is love and belonging. And definitely, that's a stage that we all aspire, because, which are the human beings that are content, who do not love themselves or who do not love others, who are not loved as, beings. These are essential elements that we need, and that's not only for humans. It's actually for all the animals and probably the plants as well. We need the care and the attention and the love of others, and this is where friendship comes in. Family again, and having intimacy, because it is in the special fare of your personal room that you can have great intimacy and great moments of love and sharing with your wife or your husband, or your partner, if that's the case. And all of that, it gives you a sense of connection, because that's what love is about. And belonging is that you suddenly you are bounding, you feel connected to something else. So again, you are not alone, you are with others, and it is a sense of completeness that arises from having this opportunity to connect with one another on a friendship level, on a love or marital level, with the family members that you have, and the sense of connection actually goes further. And many find it into faith, and faith can be defined in many ways. I mean, I have a lot of faith, but I don't believe in any specific religion. I believe many of them have great teachings, but I don't stick to any, and doesn't matter. I don't have faith. I have faith maybe into something that I cannot measure, that I cannot fully understand or grasp, but I believe that there are forces, energy, which are working together with us to make us the best that we can be. And if we can connect with those greater field of vibrations, of frequencies, of energies, then basically it opens up to a world of mystery, to a world of wonders, to a world of beauty, and the sense of connection to nature. I mean, where I am now, let's connect for a second. Let's take a break. I could stay like this for a lot longer. But because of that video, I have to shut it up. But for a few seconds, I was able to, recenter myself, straighten my spine, raise my chin, and basically put all my body in alignment and still my mind so that I can be in connection with the environment and the sounds of the birds that I hope you were able to hear. That sense of being connected to nature, feeling the fresh air, feeling the heat of the sun on my skin, and feeling alive within everything. This is a great sense of connection. Now, there's a lot of people that find connections in prayers. There's a lot of people that find connections in many other ways, and there's no one way. There are tons of solutions in order for one to feel connected. But we need to be connected because we are actually interconnected to every single thing, to every dimension that there is. We do have a sense of connection. Now we don't perceive all the dimensions. There are so many, but we are connected to those dimensions that are closest to us, and depending on our level of awareness and personal development, we are able to reach out to a variety of other levels of connection and awareness. So that is the stage 3 of the pyramid that Maslow defined. And obviously, when you have the family, when you have the love, when you have the sense of connections, and that you eat properly, and then you have a home and a job that you enjoy, I mean, things come together. It's like a pyramid. You start to become a great being. You start to become yourself, and this is the next step: self-esteem. You know we beings, if we don't love who we are, I don't think we can do much, because the first thing we have is we have to love who we are and what we do, what we believe in, and who we stand for. Actually, we have to be authentic. We have to be ourselves. And that level of self-esteem, can only be reached once we have built the proper bricks and pillars and steps in order to be content and self-assured about who we are. And obviously, that's not a stage that every single person may get. And this is related to self-confidence, which is, a great disease. So many people do not have self-confidence. It's because they're not aware of their true potential, because we beings have limitless potential. We are amazing computers, machine, capable of things that we can never imagine. And everyone is capable of doing that. But no one is trying to understand how this machine works. And we never actually read the manual about how can I make myself a greater being. But we always look on external things in order to feel us. But the first and the most important is to work on ourselves. And this is where self-esteem can grow upon, and confidence, that we are who we are, confident that we can say what we want to say, confident that we can accomplish what we choose to accomplish, and that sense of confidence in our capacity to realize certain things, to have achievements, and to say, in the past I was able to overcome so many difficulties and so many challenges that, I know that my level of achievement is already up there. So therefore, I am self confident and I have self esteem because I have seen so much and I've been able to cope with so much challenges in life that, I know that more can come and I'll be able to overcome it again and again. And I have this confidence. And when you have this confidence, what comes out is that you begin to look at others differently, and you begin to respect more the others. Because you know that if you want to respect yourself, you have to respect the others because you realize that you have a sense of connection, and how you treat others is actually how you treat yourself. Because if you are using love, care, kindness, understanding, forgiveness, compassion with the others, this is what you'll get for yourself. And obviously, that's going to raise your level of confidence and self esteem. And by doing all that, what's going to happen is that you are suddenly going to begin to realize that, in a sense, you are so unique and you are so special. And really, I mean, I am so great that I should be thankful and grateful for everything that life has given me. And here is when I realized that I have so much room for further growth. And this is why I realized that the purpose of life is actually to succeed in being the best that I can be. And that brings us to the top of the pyramid in Maslow theory of needs. That is called self actualization. So here is when you've achieved the first four level and you've already reached a very high level. Now let's say something important is that the self actualization level is the only level which is not a need, is an opportunity that one can choose to have or not to have. And if someone chooses not to have, they can be perfectly happy if they have everything else that we mentioned before, which is the physiological needs, the safety and the security, the love and the belonging, as well as the self-esteem. Then you may stop there and be fully content, and that will be just fine. And there are many people that live like that. Now, some people who always, want to uncover what they don't know yet. It's my case. So they are trying to grow further. Just like the tree into the forest, we are trying to catch as much sunlight as we can. This is why we grow taller and taller, so that we are above the canopy of trees, and then we can get everything that we can get. We can see 360 degrees everything that lays around, and that's the stage of self-actualization. And this is where morality come into play. We begin to see that our life should be ruled by some sense of morality, where we perceive that doing what is right is the best way for us to grow into better beings. And this is a sense that we can all develop when we get to that stage. We've got everything we need in order to be happy, but now we want to be more. So we develop, model or habits in order to grow to be a better person. I mean, for the last 2 years, I practice every day almost, twice a day, meditation, and that's a way to, set time by myself in silence aside. That's a moral duty that I have in order to take care very well of myself. And obviously, as a result of that, my level of vibration, my energy is rising higher, and I can share that with more people, and therefore the more joy and the more contentment. As a result of all that, it's also the mind which becomes aware to different dimension, intellectually speaking or not. And what's very apparent when you get to that level is the level of creativity. And creativity is such a beautiful thing. It is probably one of my better assets, and I'm so proud, to be able to analyze almost anything and and draw some sort of conclusions, right or wrong doesn't really matter, but being able to connect the dots and come up with ideas or perspective which are very different than what it was in the very beginning. And it allows me to, start to perceive the world in different ways, and it allows to solve problems, and it allows to help others to develop better strategies so that I can become better beings. So creativity is what humans are born to do, and we are creator in essence. Some people create music, which is the most universal and beautiful language of the world. Some people make others laugh, and that's also superly creative, while creating speech that can rock your heart. And there are people that are artists and painting or drawing superb sceneries, or even contemporary arts. Anyway, there are tons of ways. There are people like me who runs, marketing agencies, and basically are being creative in so many ways, in creating pretty cool videos, for example, or designs, or stories, or blogs, or many other things that we do. So creativity can be expressed in so many ways, and I do hope that you teach your children to grow and grow more on the creativity side, because in the future that's what the humans have, and it's going to be for a while rather difficult for computer to to compete with us. So build up your creativity potential so that you can come up with so many solutions at any point in time, and see the world in many different ways. As a result of all that, what comes out, because you have that self-confidence, is you become more authentic, and you become spontaneous, because you do not have to think and to reflect so much. You are basically connected with some higher frequencies, and the thoughts and the word come naturally. I mean, think about it. On this video, which is taped live, and I did not prepare anything. We've been recording for 41 minutes and 52 seconds that I've spoken to you, and I did not prepare for nothing. So what I have is that I am connected, and I'm not thinking of the word that I should be telling you right now. They are totally spontaneous. And that is, when your mind has clarity, then somehow you can connect and being able to express your thoughts, your ideas, and into actions into a way that is more aligned and that is more consistent for what it should be. And our language, or our thoughts, or our actions are a reflection of who we really are. So if you want to raise your level of self-actualizations and creativity, and have a morality and increase spontaneity, you need to get to that stage of very high level of confidence in yourself. And when you are at that stage, you also become a lot more tolerant. You accept the world for what it is. You accept others' weakness as well, and you become a lot more tolerant and accepting of situation, because you realize that everything that's happening is happening for some good reasons, and most of them we don't know what are the reasons. We have absolutely no clue, and probably will never know, and sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but that doesn't matter. You just have to accept that nature is just perfect. I mean, the world is the most magnificent environment that can be. I mean, actually, that we can perceive, and it is, everything is perfect. And when you don't see that this is heaven that we have, and the beauty around us, the sounds of the bird, or the flower that is there, or even the fly that is just sitting right here waiting for something to happen, probably hunting, I don't know, all of that is just intelligence and beauty that we humans can never create. I mean, we are way below the level of nature. I mean, we cannot create a fly who can live like they do and do what they can do. We cannot create a plant like nature give us, or a tree like behind me. I mean, we are just, life on Earth, and a very small part of life on Earth, and actually we are nothing in the scope of all. So when you realize that the earth continue to spin, and the sun continue to warm us, and then you realize that everything is occurring as it should, and you become a lot more tolerant. And obviously you can start to experience life for what it's worth, for its true potential, because suddenly you are on a different level, a different dimension, where you are so connected to who you are and to everything that's around you that you experience life more fully. You are living in the here and the now. I mean, this is what we call mindfulness, and suddenly all become clear, and we do experience life so much more, because when we see a flower, we realize the beauty of what this is. I mean, it's life that is sustained for a short period of time, but that is created in harmonious and beautiful ways. And that's just one example among billions that we can perceive, and many, many trillions more that we cannot perceive. So experience is extremely, extremely important. And experiencing purpose is what I teach, because when we are aware of all that, we also aware of what is our true talent, what is that is meaningful to us, what is that we love to do, what is that we'll do without pay just because we enjoy doing it. And when you get to that stage where you have the opportunity to experience your purpose, it's a wonderful opportunity. My purpose, is to inspire and to share good vibe so that others can grow and feel better. And I hope that while watching this video, you are able to perceive that there is teachings that you can get in order to grow, but also energy and feelings that makes you, feel better, because you realize that the world is actually gorgeous and beautiful, and that's the way you should see it. So looking for your purpose is very important, but obviously this is something that can be reached once you have taken care of the base. Now, you should try to know what is your purpose, even if you don't have all the other stages, because it's something that you'll be looking up to get to. And what you do on the way will allow you to be a lot more prepared the day you get to that last stage of the self-actualization process. Ooh. And then, when you can do what you love the most every single day, you'll begin to reach your true potential. And you'll begin to be the great beings that you've always meant to be. And you'll realize that you still have so much more room for growth and betterment. So life is amazing, and we can all choose to have it. It's a matter of habits, it's a matter of choice, everything that we do every day, and how free we can be from the teachings that we have received from society or educations or our parents, to become the true beings that we should be. I love you, and I thank you for taking the time to listen. I do hope that you felt inspired today. I enjoy being with you very, very much and sharing, and I'll continue striving to become a better version of myself so that I can give you some more. And let me know if I can be, your advisor, if I can be your coach and help you, guide you through the process of going one step after the other. All is there, it's for you to do, and if you're not ready today, that's fine. You can subscribe to my channel, and then you can continue to follow some of the videos, and the day you feel ready, then you can reach out to me. Somewhere down the road, you'll find my contacts on my website, patrickgavo.me. Lots of videos and interesting content for you to enjoy, and let's make the best of life, because life deserves it. Cheers.